Hi, book besties, and welcome to another episode 8 of Booktober. My name is Maya, and welcome to my channel. I wanted to give you guys a different type of video that has come across my feed, and I've been seeing a lot of booktubers doing this. There are different variations in terms of titles. Basically, this whole concept for this video is that I am going to be taste testing, quote unquote, a certain type of genre, maybe a genre that I have visited before but maybe don't read so often. Maybe it's a completely entirely new to me genre. Maybe it's a special subsection of the genres that I love that I may have never explored before, but essentially it's going to be me sampling a few different variations of books, or aka 3 books from different types of authors in a particular type of subsect or sect of genre. And so I wanted to start off kind of easy and with graphic novels. So I am very excited to be reading these books with y'all. And so I hope you guys enjoy the video and enjoy my thoughts on these particular manga. And I will be coming in for the outro as well, and a summation of my thoughts and my reading experience. For book 1, we have Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, illustrated by Erin Faith Hicks. Deja and I would be the best of friends. What she's talking about right here looks freaking bomb. Like, can we please make this reality? That would be awesome. There's still a couple more weeks left of October. I could potentially try making this. That's a lot, but I could try. The last line. Suffering succotash. So, okay, quick backstory. I used to have braces, alright? And this was in like my 4th grade year. Everything happened to me in 4th grade year. Got the glasses, got the braces, got curves, and also found out what it truly means to be a woman. If you know, you know. If you don't, bless your soul. My teeth weren't used to like things being in my mouth, obviously. I don't know if you ever really get used to it, because like I always knew it was there, but it just didn't bother me as much. But the first like initial stuff that went down in my mouth that was like major repair, like straightening and stuff, I started speaking like with a what's it called? Like with a lisp? Is that what it's called? Like long drawn out syllables, mostly consonants, specifically S's. And my mother she made a reference to like one of her shows, this one animation character that would always say "Suffering succotash" or something like that. Suffering succotash. So the fact that it's in this book, every single time I hear that, I'm just instantly reminded of the fact that I used to have braces, and the one thing that my mother would always like tease me about would be the stupid way that I would have to talk around them. And suffering succotash, like I can't do it now. Like I can't hold out any of the vowels anymore because I choose to not relive that moment of my life. But yeah, that's what that reminded me of. I don't know why. That's just very random, but every single time I see it. He is me. I am him. That picture right there says it all. That is legit me. I love that. Okay, so this is interesting. They're having a talk about how they met, and Josiah just like really seems to think that fate is a thing that happens to us and that there is no action, there is no choices. And he says something in here that I never really caught before. And he says, that sounds like a lot of work. I would rather like to think of it as fate. You can't choose the consequences of your choices, but you choose people, you choose life paths. And what comes of that, you continue to choose to stick by it, or you choose to do something else. But life and friendships are about choices. You chose this person, you continue to choose them. And that's relationships of any kind. And it's not just friendships, but you know, meeting might be happenstance. Like the way that you guys meet might be happenstance, but you make the choice to continue the conversation. You make the choice to continue the relationship. You make the choice to stay friends or to fall apart. You make those choices, and it is work. So the fact that he is like wanting life to work itself out and for other people to choose and make those choices and make those actions, but not put in the effort himself, that's actually very interesting. And I think that kind of plays into the very idea of this girl that he seems to have a crush on. And when Deja asks him point blank, like, do you think about this girl outside of, you know, our time here? And he answers very honestly, and he says no, it's a pumpkin patch thing. And it's kind of just like, you are crushing on this girl from a distance because she's conventionally attractive, or just simply she's attractive in your eyes. Both things can be true. And you are making a choice to like someone or something, but not taking any action behind it so that you can have these feelings, have these periphery emotions, really, but not have to take ownership and accountability of it because you chose not to get close. It's kind of interesting. Like, I mean, I feel like I've got that in past readings, but I don't think I was ever to truly like get it and articulate it, or like really have a response in general about it. But I just think that's so interesting because I used to like someone from a distance, and I used to think he was attractive. I used to think, I mean, not that he isn't, it like conventionally he is attractive, and a lot of girls did find him attractive. But the thing about it is I didn't really take action on, you know, getting to know him better or talking to him. If there was ever a conversation we were both involved in, it was not because of either one of us, really, because he didn't really know necessarily that I existed outside of his friend group, and he didn't have any interest outside of that. And even though I had interest outside of it, I didn't show that I had interest outside of it, you know? So I didn't take action. I didn't choose to develop a relationship, friendship or not, with him, you know? And so that relationship kind of fizzled out. Now I do have an attraction to someone, but I choose to engage with them. There are times where I don't choose to engage because I am shy, or I get too much in my head, or I overthink it, or I just genuinely am just like, I am at a space where I don't need a relationship past friendship. And I have always told people, and I mean it, I want friendship first. So there are times where if I were to engage in conversation, the motive would not be friendship. The motive would be, I think you're attractive, I like you, I've liked what I've seen when we have interacted, and now there's an emotionality behind it that just doesn't need to be there, so I don't engage with that emotion because it could lead to ruining what could be a beautiful potential friendship, so I don't even try to do that. All of that to say is that I choose to develop a relationship with this person. I choose to show that I want to be friends. I choose to go out of my way to talk with them or engage with them, or if it seems like they're trying to make the effort as well, then, you know, encouraging that effort and being like, hey, yeah, absolutely, let's continue this conversation. Or if like I don't see where this conversation is going and it's just, you know, kind of fizzling out, I choose to step back and be like, okay, we had a good conversation up until this point. We don't know where to go from here, but I'm not going to maintain the awkwardness of whatever is going on outside of that, because I don't want it to be anything where I am simply interacting with you because I find you attractive, or I'm interacting with you because I want something more. Truly, just interacting with you is enough, and I want that to be enough, and I want you to know, like, there is no pressure aside from that choice. So, you know, for them to choose the relationship as well. And the fact that there is continuous interaction on both sides means that at the very least, openness to a friendship is a thing, which I greatly appreciate and honestly is really cool because the guy is really cool. I enjoy talking with him. I think he's talented. I think, yes, he is attractive. And I think that he is a really good man. All of that to get back to what I just initially thought of, we are able to choose how relationships go. There is an element of action that goes along with the circumstances that you are put into. And I think that is a great discussion piece that is in there that I just have never really like full on gotten before. And it's nice to see that play out in just a very innocent, very light conversation, but there's so much that you can glean from it. I love that. I love that type of writing style. Great quote. I don't want this girl to achieve mythical status in your life just because you never talk to her. Bro, that was literally this one past guy and me until I realized like, oh, that was stupid. This is why I talk things out, okay? This is great. Jumping off of a moving vehicle and all you care about is that this is against the rules. I swear, this man okay. I'm just gonna let that sit with you guys.
For book number 2, we have Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol.
one line that I love. And if I heard this when I was in high school, I feel like it would have made my life so much better. Although, would I have believed it? Probably not. But still a great line from Anya. And it says, and I quote, "Impressing a bunch of snooty teenagers is a pretty lame life goal to have." We were talking in my morning fellowship class that it's really sad, honestly, if you think that you have peaked in high school, if all of your life's ambitions were your time in high school, or all of your fond memories are from high school. Because let's be honest, even if you had the best high school experience, there's still more to life than that, and it's still a growth period. Each phase of your life has something for you to learn, has something for you to be present for, has something in the way of just amazingness to look forward to. And if we're so focused on a past life or a past self or what we wish we could have had, we're gonna miss the good things in life. And so I just really appreciate that within this story, we're kind of getting that message, but in the most teenage way of saying it, that could connect with actual teenagers. Because I feel like if I read that in high school, I don't know if I would have believed it necessarily. However, I think I would have been just like, yes, like I need to hear this. And I think it's true. I think people should hear it, that like, hey, if your life goal is to impress teenagers, there's something wrong with that life goal. Okay, let's find a new one. Not to say that it's a bad goal to enjoy high school and those years. They're very formative years. They are the jumping point into adulthood. But like, don't think that that's going to be the best it ever is. But anyways, I'm just glad that we got that little piece in this book. But I also just like the fact that it was just like a teenager saying that about teenagers. I'm like, yeah, that was me in high school to a T. And like, I feel like I resonate with Anya so much. And I don't know if that's about a good thing. We get better. Anya, we get better in college and beyond, okay? Our life gets better. And to anyone who feels like Anya as well, if you guys have ever read this book, but, oh, sorry, back cover, this book. But yeah, gonna continue reading now, and I'll come back with my finalized thoughts, unless there's a really good quote. I am loving the fact that I am finding so many good quotes in these mangas. Back to reading. I found it. I accidentally flipped the page and it skipped a page. I found the face. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to the face of my nightmares. This one specifically. I kid you not, I have had sleepless nights because of this face. I get it. I get how this is so stupid. But listen, guys, there is always something that we know is not real that creeps us the heck out, okay? And then we wonder how like kids can look at it and be like, oh, fun shiny toy. It's kind of like those Barbie dolls that were interestingly made with the faces and everything. Like seriously, how do kids, when you really think about Barbie dolls or animations and stuff like that, it's like, how can these kids look at this? And objectively, it looks creepy. Just like objectively, it looks fake, but it's real enough to not be fake. So your mind conjures up the fact that maybe this could be real. And kids are not bothered. But as adults, we look back at it and we're just like, huh. Yeah, okay. Kids are fearless, honestly. But I kid you not, that face and the celery, man, that freaking celery is gonna give me freaking nightmares. The most horrible part for me, I don't know which one is more horrible, because this one is just a drawing that scares my soul. And then the other one has a voice attached. But I also know it's a vegetable, and he's a nice vegetable. He's just delivering a prophecy, if you will. Yeah, TBD on that, but that was actually frightening. Like I turned off the camera
And then I accidentally skipped over to that page and I was like, it was so bad. I think I scared my little puppy over there. She's laying down now because she's used to my dramatics. But like, it's actually frightening. I don't know what it is, but I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it here. All right. I'm gonna continue reading. This is for all of those true crime stories that have to deal with jealousy and disappointment and breakups. And I quote, "I don't think murder is an appropriate reaction to disappointment." Okay, and not, okay, because, and I said like love triangles and jealousy and heartbreak and breakups and everything because that's kind of like the plot line that the story goes on. But literally for anything, if your strongest reaction to disappointment is immediately murder, we got some other things going on. And like, okay, I feel like I just came on abruptly and said that. Listen, I'm into the true crime space, all right? So, you know, I've been listening to a lot of stories on true crime and everything. There are quite a fair few stories, sadly, about people who got broken up with or had a broken heart or something of disappointment happen in their lives. And in order to enact revenge and feel justice for their misfortune and discomfort, basically, they kill someone. Or, sorry, this is YouTube. They unalive someone. That is never an appropriate response for a disappointment. And so I feel like this was a good thing to make mention of. Sorry, okay. Editing me is gonna make it not as abrasive as the actual footage was, because I feel like that just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah, girl, that kind of did. But thankfully, I am here to help you out. I have been, as I said, into true crime and true crime topics, but also this book was heavily featuring a murder case. Our ghost was a murderer. She murdered in cold blood because of jealousy, and we later come to find out her actual cause of death versus the cause of death that she told Anya because she wanted to relive her life vicariously through Anya. She thought, hey, maybe this girl could be my second chance at life. I have been in the true crime space for a while now. There are sadly so many cases of just love triangles, heartbreak, jealousy, just changing of feelings so quick and going from love to hate because of their emotions, because they feel hurt, because they feel betrayed, because they want to have control over something and they no longer have it. And they think, if I don't have this person, then no one can, among other reasons and things like that. So it's a very important topic, I think, and I love that this was a conversation mixed into the storyline. I'm just a big fan of authors who truly can take a topic that is serious that we should think on and implement it within the storyline in a way that is not only just entertaining on the surface, but subconsciously allows the reader to have that topic of conversation and sit with it and maybe work with their thoughts with the character and come to their own conclusions about certain things. So I think that's really cool that this was involved within this storyline. And so that is why I kind of got so passionate and so out of left field for that comment. But also, I wanted to keep it included within this video because I think it is important to have those conversations and to highlight that this was something that the author did, because not only did I love that and it helped with my overall experience and rating of the book, but also because I just genuinely feel that the authors who are able to do that so well implement really deep levels of conversation into a very seemingly light mood read. I think it's worth commending because it is such a skill and it is hard to do. So kudos to our author.
Back to reading. Last reading update. I finished Anya's Ghost and it was just as good as the first time in a different way. but just as good even so.
And last but certainly not least, we have book number 3, The Tarot Cafe by Sung Soon Park.
shook. The one manga
that I had zero knowledge of or anything like that turned out to be my favorite of all of them. And I didn't even really have any in-depth thoughts on this at all. But what's surprising me is that, okay, so spoiler alert for the next vlog. Today I finished reading The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. And in my review notes, I basically said that this book was like very like quick to get through, fast-paced, easy to digest. I bring up that point because I had said that even though it was fast-paced, easy to digest and all of this, it felt very shallow, very spoon-fed. It's more so like it was just very surface level stuff, and you know, I felt like it was easy to get through because we were being told everything that we were supposed to feel and not like coming to that feeling organically. I bring all of that up to say I felt like this manga was a breeze through read. I gotta say, like, it was very nice. It was just nice to have a very quick, very easy read where I had no expectations of anything, where yes, there were probably conversational points in here, but just because my brain just like wasn't with the deep conversation or trying to find anything that was like layers upon layers of substance, it was just really nice to have this read. What got me though is I got to the end and I was just like, that felt so quick. And also, why did you leave me on a cliffhanger? I mean, I know it's a series, okay, right? You know it's a series, but like with something like Heartstopper, it kind of concluded to where if you didn't want to go further on in the series, you didn't have to. There was enough there to leave you on a cliffhanger of intrigue for the next book, but if you really didn't like it, you could have ended it there and it would have a nice conclusive element to it. And I think that's something that I was just like, I guess I was expecting of manga just in general. I don't know what I was expecting, but that is just something that I was just like, oh, okay, we're doing this, we're making this a series, and like obviously there's a continuation and it doesn't like resolve itself, which I don't know, like I'm kind of digging that, to be honest. I really liked it. I am loving the way that it reads. It at first, like, I mean, the print is very tiny, don't get me wrong, so sometimes I had to be like really squinting there because it was just like, there was this one particular part where it was like the tiny writing. Let me find an example here. Actually, let me find the page of what I'm talking about. But like, okay, so for the cards, the writing is that tiny. Okay, and then for context, here's the entire page. There's the actual writing. Up close and personal. Does it focus enough for you to actually read it? I don't know. I'm sorry if it doesn't focus enough to read it. But that's the print we're working with. And there was this one particular card, or maybe it was a scene. I don't know. I think it was a card. But the lettering was actually gray on, I think, black background. So it was like exceptionally hard to read. I think you could see in the footage, like my eyes were just like this occasionally. But it was really cool. The layout was cool. There was so much action, you guys, and I think you guys saw it in the small amount that I showed you guys, but the details of all of like the drawings of the characters themselves, look at that detail, okay? But also of like cityscapes, where, let me turn to a different page so I can just show you like the differences. Again, okay, here's, you know, yet another character. And then what I love is they get into detail of the expressions as well. When the characters are talking to each other, the details of the expressions are like on point. It's less about the background and more just about the expressions. So you have the simple background with the very detailed character faces. And then there are the scenes where it's like there is still a lot of intricate detail within the drawings, but it's more like focused on the background, and it gives you the scene. It as the scenes play out, you have that, but it when there's no scene to be talked through, when there's no dialogue within the scene, you get just the full-on scenery with the character and the background. It's so freaking cool, and the illustrator is just so good. And for our main character, I mean, look at that. You can even see the designs in the lacing of her clothing. Like, that is so cool. And that's just a close-up. That's not even talking about, you know, like these designs over here. Sorry, I was meaning to show you guys the, like, a city type of shot here. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Look at that. Like, I mean, obviously there's a character in it, but like, just so intricate. The detailing in this artwork is just amazing. I am floored by this. And like, I have seen, oh, here, no character. No character. And it's literally just a building. But, oh my goodness, the intricate designs and artwork, chef's kiss. And then the actual storylines as well. So, just like, out of pocket, but they make sense. Like, it's so amazing. But then, we have to freaking stop in the middle of a storyline, and I'm just like, what the heck is happening? Also, we get like a note from the author kind of like talking about their experience writing this book and everything. Like, literally from the author says this. I'll just read out the entire thing for you because I think this was really cool. And I quote, "In a way, I had no choice but to become a cartoonist. Ever since I was a little girl, I felt a strong desire to draw. Drawing made me feel like I was flying high in the air. Even now, I find myself completely immersed in the world I am creating on these pages, and I try my hardest to create better, more entertaining storylines and images." Girl, you don't need to. Like, you do amazing. As soon as a cartoonist says to himself, "This is good enough," she falls into the depths of hell. For this reason, I am on guard at all times, goading myself to do better. It is not up to me, but to the reader to decide whether my work is good or bad. My job is to do my best. I felt that. As a creative, I felt that. One thing I am sure of is that I am happy when I'm imagining a story or bringing it to life on paper. I sincerely hope that the readers can share in my happiness. I did. It was a fun time, girlfriend. You gave me a great, amazing story time. Now I invite you to enter the slightly unusual world I've created. ... No, literally, ... I love that. The slightly unusual world. Honestly, we need slightly unusual. It's fun. It's fantastic. So yeah, wow. Just, man, that was just such a fun time. Man, this is gonna be so much fun to talk about in the morning. What I also greatly appreciate, before I need to shut up because I don't know if my mom is actually trying to go to sleep or not, so I'm going to be conscientious of other people in the household. So one last thing before I sign off for tonight, and I will catch you guys up in like a proper intro, outro, and editing thing, is that I greatly appreciate the fact that each of the cards were that each of the cards were explained. And even if it was within the story that she was explaining it to the other characters, there was still the explanation underneath the cards, which was really, really nice. I enjoyed that. I personally think that it just shows
how much effort was truly put into this work, because regardless of whether or not the author is into the tarot card thing, I think that's really cool for someone who doesn't know about tarot to be able to not feel left out of the conversation, to just see a picture and be like, that's a pretty illustration. What the heck does that even freaking mean? And to have all of the information on all of the possibilities of the card outside of the storyline is great, because our main character doesn't always say every single possibility just because she knows maybe not the right time to tell this other person about that, and they've already made up their mind, and she knows they've already made up their mind, so she kind of just like says the thing that is less harmful just to be like encouraging in a way, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, but we don't really know a lot more about her, even though in the summary it was mentioned she's trying to go on and move on to this next life. There's like hints of certain things, but like not even a lot. There was not a lot of attention on her, which I didn't mind, to be honest, because it was just so quick and just like one story after the other. It was fantastic. I just wasn't expecting that. I don't know. I think it was really good. So yeah, anyway, love it. And now I'm gonna shut up because people may be trying to go to sleep. So I will shut up today, and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow morning, which is literally not even 0.1 second after I end this. See ya in 0.1 second.
And that is the conclusion of our first ever taste test video. Round of applause. I had such a good time reading all of these different manga and going into these different worlds. 2 of them were repeats, but one was completely and entirely new to me. The last one, the Tarot Cafe, and I just had an amazing time with it. I just got so lost in the world that I truly had nothing left to say. But overall, for my entire reading experience as a whole, I think I just truly enjoyed getting to sit down and just read and experience a world and be able to just like have it all in one go. I think that's what I truly love about graphic novels, is that, you know, they give you that escapism experience that novels give you, but in a shorter amount of time, so that you truly can just sit down and just like let the world disappear for an hour or less as you read and just absorb a different world. And then once you're done, you know, you don't feel like there's any pressure to come back. Not that there is pressure with just normal novels and stuff, but I think you know what I mean. Like, there's so much in the world that tries to get our attention again, to bring us back into reality. And graphic novels just kind of give us that moment of escapism, and it gives us a complete experience. And I think that's really cool. I also think that's something about this genre that, you know, could be taken for granted, or could be taken as like, oh, this is just an easy read to get one more on the stats of how many books I've read. But truly, it is such a different and unique experience than just novels, because we are able to implement yet another one of our senses. And I think that's why, you know, I put graphic novels in a whole different category than novels, because of that reason. And then I put movies and media like that into an entirely different category. And I mean, that's just like everyone, right? We know that the different mediums are different in the way that they represent storytelling and everything. But it's just so interesting that within the world of literature, just with our eyes, you can bring in other senses. Like, I view graphic novels in the same way that I view poetry versus like the novel, again, because you can use styles and vision within your writing, and you could do that with novels too. And I think a great example of that would be this one particular sci-fi book that I've gotten into. It's a series, but I believe the name is Illuminae. They used visual components with the emails, with the different pictures made out of words and stuff. And so I think it's really cool that, you can bring in those other elements when you can in novel writing, but there's just something about graphic novels and being able to just see the action as it's happening and not even read words, just follow along on the storyline with the different pictures as they're going along and telling the story. And it truly can give you an experience of a moment by moment that is so hard to encapsulate with words and to keep attention and to keep intrigue that I think is so cool. So I'm really glad that I got to dedicate some time to the graphic novel genre specifically for that reason. But yes, I just had a great time and a great reading experience. I hope you guys had a great time watching and enjoying, or, you know, reading with me. Maybe not those exact books, but maybe picking up a particular manga that you have been wanting to read as well. I think another part of this reading experience that I just want to say really quickly before I end it is that I set up the camera for 2 of them to kind of give that whole reading along with me vibe. And as I was reading the graphic novels, all of the footage that was captured for Pumpkinheads, for the Tarot Cafe, it was sped up to times 10 speed, you guys, in the editing. But I encapsulated the full experience because I think it was a way to allow me to be like, okay, no other distractions. This is the thing that you're doing. This is the thing that takes priority. And unfortunately, that's what I had to do to get my mind to just like settle and just be like, it is okay to read for an hour and to kind of just like decompress after a day or whatever. Or because I was up in the cabin in the woods and I literally had nothing else to do, I was just like, okay, let's just pull out the camera and read. And it was just really nice because I forgot that the camera was there. I was just having fun just reading, and it was so nice. It kind of hurts my soul a little bit that I had to make up an excuse to just sit down and read for an hour. I mean, it's an hour, frick. There's 23 more hours of the day. Productivity culture truly has taken over me in the worst way possible, but I'm working on it and getting better. But yeah, it was just a great time overall. I'm really glad that I was able to have you guys to be my excuse to just slow down and have a moment to just enjoy something that, you know, I have always said that I loved and loved doing as a hobby. It was really fun. It was really great. So yeah, that is all I have to say on that reading experience. I will not be sharing any of the ratings because I'm going to be doing that in the final video of this Booktober series. On Halloween Day, we are going to see how many books I have read, all of the star ratings, all of the everything, and I truly have done really well, and I am very proud of myself for not spilling the beans on all of the star ratings. I have some raw footage where I accidentally said it, and then I had to cut it out, and it was like, gosh darn it. And thankfully I am a babbler, so all of my babbling actually turned into a way to make sense. And you guys, if you guys would see all of the raw footage and how many hours of footage I actually have versus what I show you guys this 45-minute video, or however long this video is, 45, 50 minute, I don't even know. You guys, it's not even a third of the footage I have. Scary, I know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for spending this time with me, and thank you for being the best bookish bestie that ever was, is, or ever will be, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, bye!